My name is Lucas, starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. I'm also the full-time YouTuber who recently has become a part-time 3D printer as well. And by far the most common question I have received so far is which printer should I buy as my very own first 3D printer, or I'm planning on buying a 3D printer for someone else, for example my kid. Which 3D printer should I get? And although this video is not sponsored and I'm not affiliated with any 3D printing brand at all, I will only focus on Bambu Lab printers in this video. First of all, because that's the only brand I've actually been using myself, and two, after my extensive research when I wanted to buy my first 3D printer, that was the brand that I quite early on knew was going to be the easiest for a complete beginner like myself. So if you're still in this stage and you haven't really decided on which brand to get yet, please go out on YouTube and explore some other videos. Then you can come back here when you have realized that Bambu Lab is most likely the brand you want to go with. And as always, I want to give you the fastest, shortest answer in the beginning of this video, which is that if you have limited resources, either money or just space in your apartment, in my case, go with a Bambu Lab A1 Mini. And for everyone else, I 100% recommend to start with the Bambu Lab A1 together with an AMS light and 4 spools of PLA filament. And although I don't have an actual proof that this will be the best starting pack for a new 3D printer, me as a total beginner have been able to pull this off and feel like I don't really need anything else, especially if I'm only doing 3D printing as a hobby. So I am also 100% confident that an A1 printer with an AMS light will be the perfect starting printer for you as well. But of course, not everyone's use case is the same, so I thought that I should at least share my use case and also who I think that each of the different Bambu Lab printers are for, and also all these accessories that was a little bit confusing to figure out if I actually needed or not before I got my first 3D printer. So starting at the bottom, I guess, with the Bambu Lab A1 Mini, which is, as the name suggests, a mini version of this Bambu Lab A1 that I have behind me here. The A1 Mini and A1 is almost identical, I would say, in terms of like printing performance. There might be some slight speed differences, but definitely not something that you should focus on if you're deciding between these two different models. The only thing I would pay attention to is, of course, the price, with the Mini being the cheaper one, but also the size. So you do have 180 times 180 times 180 printing space or printing area, whereas you do have 256 millimeter in each direction on the A1 and most of the other printers we're going to talk about in this video as well. So maybe your first thought is that, well, I only want to print like smaller items like keychains or something, and I don't need a printing area that is larger than 180 millimeter. But I very quickly realized that I do want a larger printing space, because then I can print multiple items at the same time. So although each individual item might just be like a small little keychain, with a larger printing bed, I can actually print more of the items at the same time, which in my case, since I'm having a 3D printing business selling my prints, it will be more beneficial in the long run. Another size-related thing is the physical size of the printer itself, and you might be very tempted to go with the AMS Mini since it will take up a smaller space. But if you are going with this multicolor adapter, multicolor hub, or the AMS light, if you are getting the A1, you can actually print out these top mounts, just download it from Maker World and then print it out, and then the physical size on, for example, your desk or your table is pretty much identical to if you would have an A1 Mini and then having to have the AMS light on the side, since due to the size you cannot actually mount the AMS light on top of the A1 Mini. Hope that all made sense. And if you want a little bit more information regarding this AMS light, which is the extra included item in these combo versions that you might have seen on the Bambu Lab website, this is basically just an adapter so you can put on 4 different colors at the same time if you do want to print multicolor items, or if you just want to have like 4 different colors installed on the machine at once. So if you do want to switch between different colors, you can easily just do that in the software in Bambu Studio instead of having to physically remove and then put in another color color onto the actual printer. And another maybe more advanced feature is that if you are towards the end of your filament spool, and if you have two spools of the same color and the same brand installed on the AMS light, then the system will automatically recognize that, and you can then continue printing on the other spool of the same color. So if you are printing something longer overnight and you're afraid that you might run out of the filament, this printer and the AMS light will automatically take care of that for you. So there is tons of different benefits, and although I do recommend the standard A1 with the AMS light if you do have both the space and the financial means to do so, if you do need to choose between the A1 mini with an AMS or the larger A1 without an AMS, I would 100% go with the mini version with an AMS, having the option to have 4 colors, not only in the same print, but then also quickly swap in between these different colors without having to mess around with the physical spools. And the last thing you might need to know if you are thinking about this Bambu Lab A1 is that the filaments that you would most likely use with these printers is PLA and PETG. And PLA is just like the standard, the default filament that is basically just like plug and play. You just connect it, you follow the instructions when you've got the printer. It's just as easy as you think without having any experience whatsoever. The other material that both the A1 and A1 mini can print is PETG, which very simply put is the same as PLA, but it's stronger and it's more resistant to sunlight and UV rays. And if you want to have it outdoors with some different colors, some garden decorations for example, and it's going to be under constant heat and UV rays, you do want to print in PETG instead of PLA, since it just holds up a little bit better. One thing to note, however, is that before you do print with PETG is that you need to dry the filament in, for example, one of these dedicated filament dryers from ABOS. This is not a sponsored segment. I don't have any affiliate links. I do have just a normal link for your own convenience down in the bottom, just to make it easier for you to start your own 3D printing journey. I don't care what kind of dryer you're getting, but if you want PETG, you do want to get a dryer. Otherwise, the filament would almost feel like slightly wet or like sweaty, and it would just not look very pretty due to the humidity that is stuck inside of these filament spools. So since I do 100% recommend the Bambu Lab A1 and the AMS light to, I would say, 99% of people who are starting with 3D printing, I guess you don't really need to watch the rest of my video, because it's just going to be irrelevant information for you. But just for educational purposes, I guess, I do want to talk about the other Bambu Lab printers as well, which you might have already seen, thinking, why is it so much more expensive and what kind of benefits would these printers have for me? Not much, to be honest. So basically, when it comes to the P1S and the X1C that I'm just gonna bundle in together, previously the X1C was like the flagship printer and the high-end printer that has now been replaced by the H2D, which we also will talk about later in this video. But basically, there are two main things with the rest of these printers compared to the Bambu Lab A1. That is that it's a XY core printer, I think it's called. Basically what that means that instead of having the hot end or the printer nozzle going all over the place and also up and down on these other higher level printers, the bed is going down and the printer head stays on the same Z position or Z position if you are one of my fellow British friends, which I guess technically should make the printing more accurate, especially if you do have some taller objects that are being printed, for example like a flower vase or something. With that said, I have never had a problem printing with this A1, and they do also have some special cool plate super tack plates that you can purchase from their website if you do want an even stickier bed plate. So there are ways to get, I would say, the exact same performance. But the other thing, and I guess the main purpose of these higher end printers, is that it has an enclosed chamber, which means that the temperature can get even higher. And why do you want a higher temperature inside a printer? Well, that makes it possible to print with other materials that do have a higher melting point, because it's like basically like plastic being melted into these different like shapes or 3D prints. So you can print with with better materials, for example, ABS and ASA. And if you, just like myself, basically have no clue what that means, then those printers are not for you as your first 3D printer, I would say. But just very quickly and simplified, it's even stronger material once it's printed, and it's more like engineering material, or like for prototyping actual functional prints that has a purpose, and there's going to be like under a lot of movement, a lot of stress, and needs to be even more reliable than, for example, just like a keychain or some decorative pieces. So if you are among those, I would say like 1% of people who has no 3D printing experience and want to dive straight into making like mechanical gears and some very like innovative innovations, then yeah, in that case you might want to have an enclosed 3D printer such as the P1S or the X1C, which I think in terms of actual performance is the exact same as the P1S, just it has a little bit more flashy functions such as some AI detection. So if there are some issues with the prints, then the machine will recognize that with some camera and then stop the print so you don't waste some filament. And it has a lot of these other kinds of not necessarily but very cool to have features. But for a normal beginner such as myself, the biggest difference between the P1S and the X1C and the A1 series is that the A1 series is using the AMS Lite, whereas the P1S and the X1C is using the normal AMS, which is an enclosed AMS, which makes it possible to put these silica gels inside of the AMS to decrease the humidity, which is great and arguably even needed if you are printing with these filaments that do need drying, such as PETG and ABS and ASA, which also need drying before you start printing. And these normal AMSs can also be connected to each other, so you can connect up to 4 AMS to one single printer, which makes it possible to use up to 16 different colors for one single print. And last but also least, I think, in this which printer should you get as your first 3D printer list is the flagship model Bambu Lab H2D. This is, I would say, arguably the best printer you could buy, but I would say as a total beginner, it is a huge overkill. Like the P1S is already like an overkill. But one thing that is absolutely amazing with the H2D, since I've had the honor of actually trying this myself for a week and doing all different kinds of testing, is the dual nozzle. So if you are printing with 2 colors, then there will be absolutely no waste. And if you need some more information about this, please go back and check my previous videos specifically regarding the H2D, and you will know exactly what I mean. But as a beginner, there honestly isn't even any benefits of getting any of these enclosed chamber printers unless you already know that you do need ABS or ASA or these dual nozzle configuration. And after trying both 2 A1s, 1 X1C in the living room, and having 1 H2D here for a week to play around with, I would 100% recommend the Bambu Lab A1 as your first printer. And even if you're thinking about getting a second printer after that, I would still go with the second Bambu Lab A1 with an AMS Lite before I look into getting any other product. And with that, I hope I have answered at least the most common question I am getting: what kind of printer should you get as your first 3D printer? And if you want some more information regarding what you should do once you have received your printer, for example, my crash course in a Bambu Studio teaching you the first 10 things you should know about how that actual printing process looks like in Bambu Studio, please do remember to subscribe to this channel and check out all my previous videos. You also have a very convenient playlist for beginners, different tutorials, and some other comparisons with other printers down there in the playlists as well. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lucas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.